everyone, today I'm going to be upgrading my gaming PC, not so much in terms of the parts, but more in terms of the aesthetic and the decoration. I've seen a lot of really cool builds where people have gone all out with the decor, and I really wanted to try. I'm going to be modeling this gaming PC off of the aesthetic of the Osume Winterglow keycap set. I also have the Osume's Winterglow play75 keyboard. And I recently bought an artisan keycap that really complements the Winterglow play75, and I've added it to my keyboard. And so I really wanted to set up my PC case to have decorations that sort of complemented that whole aesthetic and that vibe. So first off, I'm going to swap out a couple of my PC parts to make sure I have a really clean looking all white build. So I'm replacing my liquid cooler with the nzxt Kraken Elite. It looks so beautiful. I got the white version, of course, and I think it's going to look really, really good with my setup. I'm also going to be swapping out my GPU for a white GPU. Now let's move on to the fun part, which is going to be decorating the inside of the case. I actually went to Michael's to get a bunch of stuff for this project, and I'm really excited to see how it all turns out. So I wanted to start by creating sort of a snowy landscape on the bottom of the case. It turns out this was kind of ill-advised, at least the way I was trying to do it, because I was trying to use polyfill. And apparently that actually is a bad idea. I was double checking on like safety and stuff like that. So it's not so much about it being flammable, but what can be an issue is that it can create static electricity, which could damage some of the PC parts, which I really didn't want to take a risk. I scrapped the polyfill. Luckily, it won't go to waste because I can always use it for future keyboard modding projects and that sort of thing. Instead, I actually got the idea to try just creating a layer of the crushed glass across the bottom of the case, and that actually worked out pretty well. Then I added a bunch of these little miniatures I had gotten at Michael's. I had these really cute little white trees that give it kind of a snowy forest look to it. They were a little bit difficult to balance, but I got there in the end. I also had these gold lampposts with the little pink wreaths on them that I thought were really cute and festive looking, as well as these deer figurines that are also like really cute and gold and glittery, and I love that. I think it kind of goes with the whole vibe. Then I had also bought a bunch of these like faux pine branches, but they ended up, I felt like the green was too much color in terms of like, I think I wanted to keep it very like pastel and icy blue in particular to go with the winter glow. And so I ended up pulling the pine cones off of those branches, like the little, there were these little fake pine cones, and I would pull them off and I used them to just like add a little bit more decoration to that crushed glass sort of icy landscape that I had. Now I wasn't quite all set at this point because I realized, first of all, I realized there were a couple of pieces that I got in sort of messed up during the process. There was like a case fan that I realized something had gotten dislodged, like one of the cables. I eventually realized that it was this tiny little piece that goes on the top of the case fan, and I had to make sure I got that put back on right. And once I did, though, it was working as usual. Then using the nzxt cam software, I was able to customize the image on front of the liquid cooler, and I ended up picking one that sort of matched that whole like snowy landscape vibe that I was going for. It took me a couple of tries to get the RGB linked up properly, but once I did, I set it to this Arctic like blue/white look that again went with that whole winter glow theme. And here's the final look at the winter glow themed PC build. I really, really love how it turned out. I think it looks super, super cute and aesthetic. That said, I will be back soon with more tech videos, and in the meantime, I am off to play Tiny Glade and make myself a little snow castle to go with this whole setup. Thanks for watching this video and checking out my new PC build. I hope you enjoyed this video. Leave a like or a comment if you did. I'm just getting started here, but I'm going to be back with more tech videos soon, and until then, I hope you have an amazing week, everyone. Bye!